Welcome back to Tech After Dark. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to use the Ken Burns effect. So let's first create a project, and this project is within my SSD. So let's say new project here or Command N. So I'm going to be using 4K, but I'm going to be zooming it in just a bit so it's better viewed on mobile. So the regular 4K is 3840 by 2160, but I'm going to be using a custom one. So let's go 3840 by 1920. Go 24 frames per second, and let's name it Ken Burns effect. Press OK. Adds a brand new project right here. So let's take our example file here. Let's drag it into the scene here. We're just going to zoom it in a bit, 112.5%, just so it takes away the borders. So the 18 by 9, and it fits better in mobile and everything. So after we've zoomed it in a bit, 112.5, we're going to add a Ken Burns effect. So let's press B on your keyboard, and that will bring up the blade tool. You can also select it from here. So let's cut like the first part here. So let's zoom in a bit with the movie tool here. So zoom it in a bit so we can actually see the timeline, and maybe we can select the second from the top for the audio wavelengths. So let's cut it right here. Just a couple seconds of zoom in right here. So let's use this clip in the middle. So I'll go back to Tech After Dark, and then it can zoom in and then go from there. So let's add on the video settings here under crop. You'll see Ken Burns, and that will actually add a Ken Burns effect right there. You kind of see it jumps there, which is not the best. So what we have to do is actually reset the parameter here so it's actually back to 100%. So when we go back to play it, it's a really slow Ken Burns. Hold it for a second, so let's maybe hold it to here. So let's hold it for a few seconds. So let's go back into the scale. Let's add 132. And that settles really nicely. So you can experiment with this and kind of get that perfect kind of settle. We can kind of hold that aspect, and then maybe right about here we can zoom out. So we can actually zoom in on this first clip and then zoom out on the second. But we're always constantly trying to fiddle with the scale within Ken Burns. So let's select the second clip to zoom out. Click the type on the crop, Ken Burns, and we're gonna have to select the clip. So we're gonna have to kind of go in the middle-ish here, so it's right underneath the cursor, the pointer here, and we're gonna click this little crop icon. This is gonna bring up the Ken Burns, and you can also trim and crop right from here, but we're gonna reverse it actually. So the start will actually be the zoom, and the end will actually be the original aspect ratio and 112.5%. So let's press done, and it kind of jumps in there a bit. So to prevent that, we need to right click scale, reset the 112.5%. So now it's at 100%. And it zooms out really nicely right there. This is a very handy feature, and you can kind of see like how useful it is and how much it kind of brings to the video. This is for the mobile use. So generally you'll find we want that 18 by 9 aspect ratio here. Let's try it again. So let's select a clip. So I kind of like to do maybe like a second or two. We can even do a slow one here. Try that out. So let's select these two here, just where I talk, and we can actually select the first clip. Let's reset it back to 0, just so we get that 100%. So we'll still have black bars, but that's for the actual Ken Burns. So let's do the Ken Burns here, and you kind of see very slow kind of truck into my face here. So that's really nice. And let's add 132 to this clip here. So let's go back to here, 132, and that's about right. Kind of trucks in really smoothly there. And you can mess around with that to kind of find the perfect one, but I like to have 112.5 for my 18:9 aspect ratio and 132 as the zoom in for the Ken Burns. Let's kind of play this out for a bit, and then maybe at about here we can have a slow truck in. So let's isolate those two clips. So we press B again, isolate those two, and we can reset the parameter of the scale, and then we can add the Ken Burns, go back to crop and click the little crop icon, flip it with this little button here so it starts off zoomed and ends outside. So let's maybe just put this back to 1.12.5, and it's pretty smooth here. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. For the next little thing here, maybe I'll just show you guys like how it kind of looks when you just have default footage here, like 100%. So let's maybe zoom in. So let's start from here and maybe do a couple seconds down the road here. And we'll see the Ken Burns on a regular 16:9 clip. So let's select this first clip here by pressing B and cutting these two. Let's go back to the Ken Burns. It's a standard push in. And let's maybe isolate up to about here. So we'll keep that zoom in for maybe 5 or so seconds. So with this one, you kind of want maybe a little less of a zoom in. So let's set it to 132, and you can kind of see it's very smooth and it trucks right in. And so we'll go back to the blade tool by pressing B, selecting this last clip here, and we can add the Ken Burns, go back to the crop tool, flip it with this button here. So we start and end, and press done. And let's see how it goes. And it kind of pops there. So 112.5, and it becomes smooth again. But you kind of like add on to that. So if you want the 18:9, you can add 112.5, and for the Ken Burns, it's 132. So it pretty much, you want to add 19.5% onto 112.5, and the regular Ken Burns at 100% is always just 32. So 32% zoom in, and then maybe a 19.5 zoom out. So it kind of depends on what you like there. These are the two aspect ratios that you'd most commonly use. So the 18:9 in the first part of the video and the 16:9 in the last part. Yeah, you can really just cut out any part and then just start plopping in these Ken Burns, and it's really quite easy. You just go in, add a little bit of a Ken Burns, just like that. You just keep on adding a little zoom in. And even for this one, if you want to do a zoom in on a even more zoomed in kind of thing, then you just kind of keep on adding 132 and kind of balance it out. So it becomes like really smooth. So that looks pretty neat. I'll even try to like add a couple more and kind of show you at the end of the video what this whole video kind of looks like and how it looks on YouTube. So I'll just go and add another Ken Burn. Let's reverse it here. And it really depends on the footage of what you're using, right? So let's reset that one. So let's go 112.5, or like a zoom into a corner. So let's just add a Ken Burns, and let's add like a custom zoom. So we can actually just grab these little handles here, and let's kind of get like maybe a 3/4 view zoom. So let's press done, and that will kind of really zoom in on the corner there. It's a little hard to track it after you move it around because you'll have to do a little bit of math and where it is exactly. This one will kind of tell you in the top right there, so the bottom, left, right, and scale on what you need, and you'll have to find that exact like zoom in. So it's not as maybe effortless as you'd think for zooming around the scene. The quick zoom ins and zoom out are a bit better than expected on those fronts. But maybe you can do kind of a like a flash to back to the normal, and people won't notice as much on the videos. We can even maybe add another little zoom in here. So maybe we can go right close to my face here. So let's just go like that. Let's get a really good shot of that, and you can kind of see. Let's do one of those. So let's just add a little cross dissolve, and we'll call it a night. And maybe we can do a fade to black at the end there. And we can maybe add a little cross dissolve at the beginning. Just like that. So let's export it here. Export file, and we'll do the Ken Burns effect. That's great. 600 megabytes, MOV, 3840 by 1920 at 24 frames per second. This is going to be a minute and a half. So let's click next. Document sounds great. Onto my iCloud, save, and this will start rendering. So it will start transcoding. That's kind of how you do the Ken Burns effect. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time in my next tutorials or reviews. Please comment and subscribe, and feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. And maybe in this video, per se, we can try to zoom in on my face, kind of extrapolate this head of mine, and try to see how well we can kind of zoom in and what can we do with that. So we can zoom in, we can pan maybe, we can go across, we can kind of do a pull, push, truck in, however you like to call it. But we'll be using this footage and kind of see how much we can do and kind of see how to do it, which is the most important part because this is a tutorial. So let's just see kind of how that is, how it sounds even, but kind of just a demo video of all my monitors running in the background and the lights on me, and we can kind of see how that kind of works in Final Cut Pro. So let's get to it, and let's try zooming in, because when you say a few jokes, when you say a few things, it's kind of fun to zoom in on your subject and or anything fun, action scenes, whatever. It's just fun to truck in just a little bit of a how do you do, you know? So let's try that out, and well, let's teach you how to use the Ken Burns effect. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.